Right, welcome to LinkedIn Live. We're discussing FactoryIQ and some of the enhancements that we've been doing with FactoryIQ. And FactoryIQ, for those that are in manufacturing, is a digital manufacturing SaaS software really focused on the operations management side. We will be looking to expand things out later with some more enhancements, but I'll hand over to Peter to go through what we are looking at and what we're doing with FactoryIQ. This is, as I say, the smart factory made simple. It's not expensive, and we've purposely done it to do that for people, the SMEs, to enter in to the digital manufacturing side. So Peter, over to you to kick off. Do you want me to share the screen?
If you could pop the screen up, that'd be great. Thank you.
There we go.
So here we are at the home screen of FactoryIQ. And what we do is we take data from your existing MRP or ERP. So in this case, we're looking at data that's pulled in from SAP Business One. You don't have to have one of those. If you want to just enter jobs manually into the system, you can do that. And we'll work with various different formats. So we're currently working with a company who's exporting their data into CSV formats from a bespoke system that they've had, and that then gets pulled into FactoryIQ. So we have a concept of a job, which will be made up of different steps to create that job, passing through different assets through the factory. And what we do is, by working with the due date of a given job, we know how long each of the steps takes for that job, what assets that's going on. We can then work out an optimum schedule for the jobs throughout your factory. So this is just an overview of what's happening in the factory at the moment, what jobs are active, any that are overdue, any that are overrunning. So they've started, but they should have been completed by now, not completed yet, and the percentage of jobs that are ready to start. And if we then go across to the schedule, we can see all of our assets here. And the jobs themselves, each of them has a unique color associated with them so that you can follow them through the calendar and through their progress throughout the factory. And operators of machines using a tablet or laptop or even their phone can start and stop jobs so that you have an overall view of what's happening in the factory. You can see whether things are on time, whether there's any scrappage, because they can record scrappage on those as well. So that helps to then inform things like on time, in full, arrears, and so on when monitoring progress through the factory. The system then picks up on that live. So if certain elements of the production get delayed, the schedule will automatically adapt to that and shuffle other tasks back to cater for the fact that something is running slow. Conversely, if something finishes quickly, you can do a reschedule, which will then shuffle away any gaps in the schedule. So potentially you could then be running ahead of schedule. So as an operator, traditionally, this is the screen that you would have seen in FactoryIQ. So it's listing all of the jobs that you've got coming up to date on your particular machine. So I'm the operator of a Citizen L12. I can see that there is a job active at the moment, and there are several jobs all ready to go. And to start and stop those jobs, you would click the start button, you click finish when you've finished, and that's fine in an environment where you've got tablets or a PC and there's plenty of space to work around it. If you're in a more confined environment, or if you're using maybe safety gloves or whatever, this can be a bit fiddly to deal with. So we've enhanced this now with a simplified version of the operator screen. And this literally for that device lists what tasks are waiting to go out, just the job numbers, and what is currently live and ready to go in. So you're not having to worry about all those other things to do with scrappage or stoppages and so on. This is just straightforward. We need to start and stop jobs. Going back to the main screen though, let's just look at one of these jobs. This one here, 29914. What we'll see is that's just listed as one task at the moment. In SAP, it's actually been set up as two tasks. It's been set up as a setup task, followed by the actual run of the job. And until the latest update in FactoryIQ, operators would have had to have started and stopped the setup and then started and stopped the job. Whereas conceptually, they may actually think of that just as one thing. I'm just working on this particular job for the customer. I need to do the setup. I need to do the run. I don't want to be going backwards and forwards, starting and stopping the setup and the job. And that is what we have with this latest update. So we can, the two tasks appear just as the one job. So when I start that, it starts both the setup and the actual job. So I'm starting that task. Okay, if we now go to the checkout board and I refresh that, so we're going to go to turning to 12, we can see that there are two jobs now checked out. So let's check that first job back in. So this is the simplified screen that the operator sees. So all the buttons are scaled up so that they're easy to use even with gloves on. So complete that task. That's done. So 29914 is the only job checked out. Let's go back to our main screen, and yeah, 29914 now is the only job checked out. The other thing that we can do, so we build the schedule automatically from the due date, and we also add a bit of a priority there. So if a customer is set up as being a strategic customer, their jobs will take priority over other jobs with a given due date. But what customers are asking for is the ability to actually create a work to list for the operator on a day-to-day basis. So they need to fine-tune sometimes the order in which jobs are coming through that particular resource. So in this case, by default, they're all set with a priority of 2. But say we want to bump up the priority of this job here, and we want to make that to be the next job they work on once they've completed the currently active job. If I click on there, and I can only do this as an administrator, operators can't change this. I can change the priority. So let's make this one a priority 1 job. And immediately it jumps up the list. And that is also reflected in there. There we are. It's jumped up to the top of the list there as well. That is the first job that appears for them. And we have all the existing functionality in there as well. So we're able to record machine utilization. So another part of FactoryIQ is FactoryIQ Edge devices. And these are small boxes that you can attach to any machine. It just detects whether the machine is running by looking at the current draw. So with CNC machines, you might be looking at the current draw of the spindle itself to see when the spindle is active. So we've got all that data as well. And that then gets mapped onto the back of the actual schedule. So we can then see it's shown as ghosting behind the actual schedule, so we can see when it's active. I'll need to just run an update of this screen to pull that through.
Now, the other thing on this, Peter, as well, is on this screen, and from an overview point of view, is the left-hand side where we've got the product going down. We've got also the status symbol as well. So from a quick split-second sort of like overview, I can see that we've got 4 red at the top that that are overrunning. So again, we're getting this visual management side of what's actually happening. So very, very quickly, we can scan down the left-hand side and see that we've got a lot of amber and then 4 red. So we can automatically go and search and see what's happening with the production side. If we've got Edge Essentials units on those, we may even be able to go in and look at the data on the Edge Essential units here as well.
Yeah. Okay, so what we're seeing here on this particular device, this sort of ghosting at the back in the background is showing when the machine was actually active. So although this particular machine is stacked out with work, you would expect it to be active all the time. So that would prompt some questions as to what are these gaps in the machine activity there. This for me is the big thing around seeing the hidden factory. We suffer with a hidden factory. Having this real-time data enables us to see these gaps in production and then question and challenge around what's happening around that, understand the root cause of what's happening. That is it changeover, is it breakdown, is something happening, have we got setup issues, are we getting adjustments in setups and things like that, or adjustments as we're going along, tool changes. But this allows us to see the downtime. So we can see from that one there what Peter's just seen is probably for that space of time we've been 50% down and 50% up, which is
for me, not good enough, and we can go and investigate.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I just briefly mention some other aspects to the system. I won't take you through them at the moment, but you can also use this as a document management system. So any element of the system, you can attach documents to it. So it might be working drawings, it might be safety documents to do with a particular resource. If you're recording scrappage, if you're recording that on a mobile phone, you can take a photo and upload a photo of that particular problem and associate that. So anybody in the factory then can see we're sharing all that data across the factory. You can see that information there, and you can associate just simple notes as well. So maybe if there is a stoppage on a machine, you might want to record the fact that there's a shortage of materials. So that can be noted down. The operator has done that, but the ops manager, without having to go and see the operator or go to the cell, can go into FactoryIQ and see immediately from there that the issue is to do with there's shortage of materials.
And this for me is one of the big issues that I had with that we the reason we did this is one of the big issues I had within shop floor is seeing uncontrolled standard work instructions, and this allows us to control it from a quality management system point of view, that it's online in one area, one central resource, and we can actually control it. So from a quality point of view, if we change any of the documentation, we haven't got out of date information on the shop floor in paper format. So we can always come back to the latest revision of what we're doing. The same with an asset side. So we can go down by product, by operation, but also the asset side. But, you know, we've got risk assessments. You can put, capital expenditure documents against it. You can do health and safety. You can direct link through. So you've always got the live link, the most live link, up-to-date link from the health and safety point of view. So again, it helps us from a whole operations management point of view. Maintenance documentation that then can be linked with autonomous maintenance and alerts and all manner of stuff. So this for me is one of the reasons that both Peter and me myself got together to try and drive this, because it is everything that I've suffered with before and much more with Peter's enhancement and knowledge with the team as well. So yeah, Stephen Mr. Murphy has asked, does it work with scrap and rate to calculate OEE? Yes, it does, Steve. It has an OEE functionality on there. So as things happen within the machine, the operator can log it, and that will then generate the OEE, and we do the OTIF and the quality rate as well. It can also track health and safety. So if a health and safety issue has arisen, you can enter the health and safety side into it, and it will track the resolutions around that as well, and keeping them on track, as well as it has a live SQDCP board. So safety, quality, cost, delivery, and people, with the measures and the again the problem issues and the resolutions time bound within that as well. So yes, in answer, Steve, it does. So I think I think there's nothing else really. It's just a brief update around the enhancements that are happening. For me, it's visual management, the scheduling side. I'm going to be biased, but for me, it is the best scheduler I've seen. The issues generally with the packages you buy is they don't go deep enough into what we want from concise, clear information from production scheduling, and this does it, and that's what you want. I don't know whether you got anything else to add, Peter?
No, that's me all done.
Yeah, so it's there. As always, if you want to know anything, just contact us, either myself or Peter, or visit www.factory-iq.co.uk. As I say, the Edge Essential units are in there, which are a plug-and-play system that you can drop onto CNC, and that's separate. You can utilize that separately away from FactoryIQ. The two do go hand in hand, though. Very powerful when they are hand in hand, but Edge Essentials is powerful in its own right as well. So that looks at utilization, historical tracking, automated tracking of information, as Peter said. So yes, thank you very much.
Thanks for your time, everyone.
We'll see you next time.